Hello, everyone. Welcome yet again to Contact Lost. This is the Polish English speaking Warhammer 40k podcast, competitive 40k podcast. And we deliver information about international events, international players, Polish events, Polish players, Polish lists, but we haven't actually spoken for a while about the Polish events and Polish players. So today is the day. Today is the day when we come back to Poland and we will be focusing on the Polish event. And I couldn't invite anyone better than the organizer of the very event that we are going to talk about. So the PyraCup, not PyraCup in this, but PyraCup. And with me, I have the member of Contact Lost, member of the Polish national team, member of Team Ignite, Patrick Mike Majson. Welcome, buddy.
Hello there.
Hi. Finally, we get to actually sit together and do something just you and me. I think this is
Yeah,
unprecedented because you've only done episodes with
this is
Joker so far.
this is the first time we are here
Yeah, this is the
alone.
first time. All right. So, a little bit nervous, but yeah, I think we'll make it. So, uh, listen, without beating about the bush, let's say, let's focus on your baby. Let's focus on the
Yeah.
PyraCup. It's going to be very interesting. 18 teams, 5-man teams. Uh, but this isn't the first time that it's taking place, right? I think
Yeah.
there is a history behind this tournament. So maybe let's start with this.
Uh,
Tell us
yeah.
what's the context.
Let's start with the context because this is not the first event under this brand, and definitely not
Mhm.
the last. So we actually started a couple of years ago playing because there was a time that every city and every local community in Poland they had one or two big tournaments in a season. So we started our tradition from Poznan was to organize doubles tournament as part of the convention, which was called War of the Worlds. It was basically a tabletop tournaments, tabletop games
Mhm.
convention, where the most popular systems in wargaming basically had their tournament or event associated with that system. So
Mhm.
we started with that. There was a time that the convention just disappeared from the original organizer of this. Just decided to stop doing that, and basically we, as 40k system, we went around on our own.
Mhm.
So we needed to find a new place for organizing a tournament, and it is really hard to get something, a venue in Poznan actually that was ready to cooperate with us and just do something really good. So I contacted people from my hometown. It's Międzyrzecz,
Mhm.
and because they were willing to help us. So our like the culture center in the city wanted to help us and offered to host the event at their venue. So we started with transferring doubles tournament there from Poznan to Międzyrzecz. Międzyrzecz is like 100 kilometers away from Poznan, but it's really
Mhm.
convenient to get there because like there's a highway from east to west passing through through Międzyrzecz, and there's a high-speed road north south. So
Cool.
it's really easy to get there logistically, and the venue is big enough to fit 80, 90 people. But nevertheless, we started with doing doubles.
Mhm.
So two versus two. Took us. It was under different brand that time. It was called Perówka. So it's like
A
hard to
tiny,
explain that in
tiny Pyra.
English. Yeah, it's tiny Pyra, but yeah, double Pyra.
Mhm. Yeah.
um, So it took us 2 seasons to do that, but the doubles tournament were not that popular that time. It was interest was like 40 people at the tournament. It was still one of the biggest events that time, but there was a time in Polish Polish league and Polish 40k system that we nearly every community changed to do to start organizing teams
Hmm.
team
I wonder
tournaments.
why.
Oh, maybe that's fault of like national team and our success.
Maybe.
Maybe, maybe, yeah. But our focus, I'm always saying that I'm a team player, so I'm always focusing on teams
Hmm.
when playing and when organizing. So it was a really easy decision to try to do one. So last year, it was actually the first time we did a teams tournament, and it was the first time PyraCup brand just came out of our mind, and together with our organizational team, we made a logo for it, we made the
Hmm.
brand, and we decided to do the tournament. We started
Solid.
we started to with 3 versus 3 tournaments because it was like a safe bet. I knew that everyone will come for 3v3 tournament, so it was kind of an experiment for me
Hmm.
personally. We managed to do this because there's always when doing teams when the previous event was 40 people and now I'm doing event for 80 people. It grew from year to year. It grew 2 times. So logistically, it was a challenge at
Hmm.
first, but we managed to do this. We managed to handle that, and the opinions after the tournament were so good that we decided to keep this brand
Hmm.
and try to evolve it to work on it for the next year, and that was our plan. In the meantime, there was also option to do the second this year, the second tournament under the same brand.
Hmm.
It was in July, and I already mentioned that we are doing like Scream versus national teams. It was a closed tournament for only for national teams, and we invited their Scotland, Denmark, Netherlands, and Belgium.
Hmm.
Uh, Together with 2 Polish teams, we played a tournament, 2 days tournament. Everyone played versus everyone, uh, and we were playing a different venue than this event, but it was at the hotel, but
Hmm.
under the same brand. It was called
Yeah.
like
Go on. Go on. Go on.
yep.
Sorry.
And we called that PyraCup Nations. And then we decided to like continue with that. So this will be an annual event. This teams versus teams,
Hmm.
and together with our main event, which is this PyraCup that is coming in 2 days, basically.
Hmm.
This will be two like regular basis tournaments. And to spoil some things, we are also doing one in February as well, also for
Sweet.
national teams. Yeah, so
All right. So
there's a
so
lot of things is coming.
tell me this, because the tournament in July uh attracted quite a lot of international teams, and from what I know and from what I heard, it was quite, I'll dare say, meta shaping. So
Yeah,
teams exchanged the know-how, exchanged the knowledge, and then some of the takeaways from that tournament could be seen at the actual World Team Championships. So we could say that your tournament basically shaped the meta for the next couple of biggest tournaments, uh, upcoming tournaments. Is that right? And then what was the
yeah.
feedback of the teams that attended? Is it something that they said they want to repeat again, or is it just your initiative?
Yeah, yes, they said just the exact words was like welcome next time, no
Hmm.
matter no matter
Great,
where when.
great,
So I already have like 8 teams signed up for February,
beautiful,
so it's full.
absolutely beautiful. Hmm.
A lot of in February we'll do the tournament with like it will be competitive one, not a training event like this
Hmm.
one. So we'll have a judge and stuff because in July it was strictly for training, so we didn't need a specific set of judges and stuff. We just trusted each other to keep secrets and to talk about the rules and teach, just exchange knowledge
Hmm.
between the teams. But in February we'll do this competitively. Uh, will
Well,
because it will not be like a month before WTC. It will be a half a year
yeah,
before WTC.
yeah. Will the
So
teams be the same, or are there some
no,
new teams coming? Right.
there are no new teams coming there. Some of them will be the same. New teams are coming as well. There will be a surprise guest there, but
Sweet.
let's
Yeah,
wait
I
for that
mean,
for announcements.
already looking forward to it because those events. I wrote that in the description for the preview of this show that we are doing today. That you are basically setting or creating new quality uh, in Poland, in Europe. I would even dare say. So yeah, I definitely want to see how it pans out. So I'm
Yeah,
excited about it.
just one thing I need to add at this point
Hmm.
is that it's not my only my work. I've
Hmm.
got a wonderful team of guys who helps in organization. So
Hmm.
just I would like to mention first of all Piotr Sobczyński, who is doing the amazing work on getting sponsors and doing some like organizational support, and
Hmm.
Everett, who was our head coach at WTC as well. He's a main judge of our events, and he takes care about FAQ and rule sets, and will take care on the event that everyone plays with the rules, and will sort out any issues.
Yeah. So it seems you have everything sorted out and you have a trusty team that will help you organize it. Is it the same for the event that we are going to talk about today? So PyraCup 2023. Like, is it the same team organizing it?
Yeah.
And is everything ready now for the tournament that will
The-
take place this upcoming weekend?
Ah, okay. The team is the same, but
Hmm.
everything will be ready tomorrow evening. There's a
Tomorrow
lot
evening.
of work to be done tomorrow, with like logistic stuff. It will
Hmm.
be a mess, but Saturday morning everything will be just fine.
All right, great. So yeah, let's get into it. Let's talk about the event itself because I think this
Yeah.
is what interests the majority of people the most. Maybe let's start with the sheer formula of the event. So what rule set, what terrain set, what is going to happen? I think many people can already guess because it's Poland, but still, tell us all about it.
Yeah. So first of all, we are doing full WTC rule sets. So we are using WTC FAQ, the most recent version. There was a couple of rules that we are not taking into consideration, but they arrived after the and suggestions in a chat discussion chat in Discord, WTC Discord,
Hmm.
uh, was after our cutoff, so we don't want to just intervene and impact potential ideas that people already have. But these are just minor things, and everything is in our internal FAQ
Right.
for PyraCup
Hmm.
event. We are doing WTC terrains, so we'll use maps from WTC. There will be like three medium, one heavy, one light map on every row of
Hmm.
tables. But what we change a little as missions, we are not doing the exact missions that are at WTC. So we're doing something
Okay.
different. Just the
And
different twists,
uh-huh.
using different like mission rules, just to see how it works and to have
Hmm.
something new. Because right now we already knew that everything will change for WTC next year.
Hmm.
It's still so let's have some fun. Fun. Let's try something different.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to like repeat the same stuff all over and all
Yeah.
over and all over again. Yeah, that might be a good refreshing aspect of the tournament. Okay, so we know the formula, we know the place, we know the organizers. Let's talk about the players and the teams that are coming. It's a 5-man format, so or 5-man team format with 18 teams. Did that surpass your expectations, or were you going for 18? Is that the exact number that you wanted?
I wanted to fit many more, much more, but I can't,
Okay.
unfortunately.
Hmm.
There was an interest to actually get a couple of more teams there, uh, but unfortunately the venue has limits,
Limitations.
so I
Hmm.
can't. I just can't fit more.
Hmm.
So I'm happy with to have the full tournament. Originally, I was targeting for 16 teams, but then when I saw the interest, I just made some rearrangements and talked to the venue staff. Uh,
Hmm.
can I fit? I got 5 tables more, so we'll fit 5 tables more somewhere there.
Hmm.
But yeah, and thanks to that, we have two more teams basically.
Okay, yeah, that's great, fantastic. As long as no one has to play outside in the rain, it's good. So here's the faction breakdown of the event of the 18 teams. The podium faction podium taken by three factions that I think come as no surprise. So we have 13 Eldar, then we have 10 Necrons, 9 CSM, so that's the top three, and then we go into Space Marines with 9, Nids with 9, Leagues of Votan 6, Tau 5, Orcs 5, 5 Chaos Knights, 3 Imperial Guards, 3 World Eaters, 2 Demons, 2 Admechs, 2 Custodes, 2 Dark Eldar, 1 Death Guard, 1 GSC, 1 Sisters, 1,000 Suns, 1 Grey Knights. So in total, we have 51 Xenos, 21 Chaos, and 18 Imperium armies. Majson, looking at this army breakdown, uh, are there any surprises? Are there any upsets? Has anything actually caught you off guard in that army composition?
I'm sad that no one believes in GSC right now.
Yeah, just one representative of GSC. What the hell happened? Yeah, it's not looking
I
good.
mean, it's still a good army, so but yeah, it's not top 5 anymore,
It's
unfortunately.
not top five,
Uh,
and I think now it really requires a skilled pilot who knows what he is doing to actually be successful with this army. So it might be off-putting for some, and
yeah,
it might explain the low number. How about the podium? We have 13 elves, 10 Necrons, 9 CSM. CSM probably doesn't surprise after the LGT and some
yeah,
recent tournaments. Very strong.
yes.
How about Necrons? I think abroad,
I th-
Necrons aren't as popular as. So is this a Polish thing, or is it actually expected in the meta,
it's
in the global meta? Sorry.
I think it's Polish thing because
Hmm.
everywhere in Poland there are a lot of Necron players.
Hmm.
Like this is one of the most popular factions in Polish community, I guess, especially here in Poland. That like
Hmm.
maybe not half of players, but when you just ask randomly what army do you play, it's probably a Necron player will be somewhere
Yeah, very,
in
very
the
common. Okay, but what can you say about the faction strength and especially in teams? I mean, again, 10 Necrons, just 3 fewer than elves. Is there power in that code, in that, sorry, in that index still? Because after the WTC, we've seen two main list archetypes, let's say, so more Lich Guard or more warriors. Um, and then at the LGT, we haven't seen almost any Necrons because everyone was gearing up against them. So
yeah.
at the LGT was
So
a month ago. How about now?
for singles, Necrons are not the best pick right now because
Hmm.
everyone was like preparing to remove 20 warriors or 10 Lich Guard from the table.
Hmm.
And basically, this is like a binary approach. If the opponent can remove that brick in one go, you basically lose with Necrons.
Hmm.
If he can't, you're playing draw and more points. But
Okay.
this is not a stable win because the opponent can still get some points. It's a really good army for teams because you can avoid some direct counters.
Unfavorable matchups. Yeah.
But in the end, I don't believe that much in Necrons, to be honest, right now. Maybe not
Hmm.
for 5v5, but they have their use. And their main use is to counter Eldari right now.
Okay. All right.
And
That's very
this is
interesting.
something, yeah, this is something that can be used, and that's probably the main reasoning behind taking Necrons in 5v5.
hmm Okay, yeah, that's good insight. We are not going into specific lists just yet. We will do that in a moment for like I don't know, the top three most interesting themes subjectively. So bear with us because we will get into like the spicy details just in a moment. But we're still looking just at the faction distribution. Space Marines, just by a tiny bit behind the podium, or we could even say they are equal with CSM and Tyranids, to make the third spot on the podium because we have CSM with 9, SM with 9, NIDS with 9. So let's break that down a little bit. Space Marines, we have three Blood Angels, three Space Wolves, one Iron Hands, one Salamanders, and one Iron Storm detachment, I guess. So any surprises there? Have you looked at the Space Marines Codex? Do those numbers surprise you, or is it more or less even breakdown as expected?
Maybe I'll just admit that I haven't looked at this codex yet, to be
Okay,
honest.
I mean you're not playing in this tournament, so
Uh,
you're perfectly excused.
I'm that's no, I'm judging that. Come
Well,
on.
yeah, but you don't have to know the exact army compositions. You don't have
Yeah,
to
the
prepare against them.
organizational stuff just takes too much time
Mm,
to get some, and just couldn't manage to read through the rules. So I will
mhm.
learn during the tournament, and we'll see.
Probably the best way to learn anyway.
Yeah.
All right, but yeah, but quite popular. Space Marines always popular poster boys of
Yes.
GW. With a new book, no surprise to see them in, let's say, the top five of the factions. How about Tyranids? Tyranids. We did the master class with Tyranids with Ines Wilson last week. We did an episode of the like codex comparison where Ines basically said that when it comes to like sheer raw power, Space Marines NIDS. So if to anyone who is listening on Spotify and cannot see what I'm with my gestures now, Space Marines way above, Tyranids way lower. Um, but here, 9 Space Marines and 9 Tyranids. Is this or does this come as a surprise to you that so many NID players are going to be there?
Yeah, it's probably also something like Polish stuff, Polish metagame stuff.
hmm
Uh, this actually are this is not a surprise for me because the Terranites and Space Marines are the two codexes that are there right now.
hmm
So maybe they are not the most powerful factions right now, but for sure there are a new codexes, like two first codexes in 10th
hmm
edition. So people probably want to just test them, to use them, to have fun, to try to discover something new. And I totally get that. So that's probably the main reasoning behind
hmm
that.
And also probably
Even if
some sort of like surprise factor, right? Because I see the NID distribution that we have 4 vanguards and 5 invasions. The invasion probably doesn't surprise anyone because that was the index detachment, very common, very strong, probably one of the strongest in the book. But the 4 vanguards, it is highly possible, highly likely that people haven't experienced what Vanguard does because it's maybe not less. But yeah, less popular also works here. It's the more technical one with speed, where you need to position your units really well, and it takes a good pilot as well to actually um, score well with it. So there might be people that are caught off guard by that. I guess. Same goes for Space Marines' new detachments. If someone hasn't read the book or hasn't familiarized himself with all the detachments that they have, it might catch someone off guard as well,
Yeah,
or at least so I
exactly.
think. 6 Leagues of Votan. So I think this is the uh, result of the data slate. What do you think
It's,
about the Votan? I mean, we're going to play a game next week, so as far as I know, and you
yeah,
are playing Leagues of Votan. So what the
yeah.
hell happened there?
I don't know. I don't know. To be honest. I just wanted. I said once um, a couple of weeks ago on the podcast. I said that Bolton is probably the biggest winner of the data slate,
hmm
and I needed to just do something new, try something new, play something different,
hmm
because my main reasoning is that I wanted to have something more like defender-like army
Mm-hmm.
to try. Because I usually play hitter armies, but sometimes you need to play defensively. So I want to improve myself and work on that.
Mm-hmm.
So I was deciding between, okay, let's take sisters, but sisters are like maybe not in top 5 right now,
Mm-hmm.
or take Votan because I got on my desk like 4 unassembled Sagittars. So
Mm-hmm.
I just looked at them and okay, I will assemble you, and I will play at least a couple of games with you.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the reasoning why I'm playing Votan there. And I
Okay.
wanted to check my like intuition because I said that Votan is going to be good. Mm, because data slate was like a huge improvement for them. You can play MSU, multiple small units approach with the army, and the army is actually not that slow because of the scout move and use of Sagittars. And the army also the slow element of the army plays from reserves. So the Terminators who hard guard, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's how they are called,
Yep.
and the Thundercans they usually play from reserves. And also in our list, I mean Ignite list, we use some new tech in form of berserkers,
Okay.
and I find them quite interesting pick on WTC terrains.
Mm-hmm.
Because in UKTC terrains, Votan can play without any close combat units because you can fit the entire like roster with more pioneers, more thundercans, even fortresses are fine because the tables are open and you can easily like get angles.
Mm-hmm.
In WTC on some tables, it's not that easy.
All
It
right.
will be very hard to find angles for many units. So that's why we are playing berserkers there,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll see how they go. Basically,
Okay.
it's purely for testing.
All right. Before we move on with the faction summary and so on, actually we're getting close to the end with this one. But you did mention the concept of like defender attacker. Could you briefly, just to anyone who is maybe unfamiliar with the team's format or not familiar that deeply with the team's format, who's a defender, who's an attacker? Why does it matter?
So defender army is something that you put as first or maybe second. We call it defender, but in pairing process you decide this will be first our pick, and the opponent needs to select from the leftover factions armies they have 2 attackers to the defender. So defender
Mm-hmm.
armies are usually something that can score a draw with everything. They are not
Mm-hmm.
like I will win against half of the meta game and the other half I will lose. That's not the
Mm-hmm.
defender army. And defender army usually don't have 2 direct counters to that and can play basically defensively to score points.
Right. And then the
Voltan
defender
is
also,
not
sorry, the defender
Voltan.
also gets the benefit of choosing the table, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Voltan is not a purely like defender army because they I think that they have 2 counters, but they strongly benefit from taking the table choice.
Okay.
That's why I'm telling
Mm-hmm.
um, that they can be used as a defender. Attacker armies are usually like targeted to do something in the pairing process.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so to like go into specific armies that they are supposed to
Yeah.
eliminate, and you count on the fact that your opponent in the pairing process
Uh,
will choose the most unfavorable matchup from the ones that you proposed with your 2 attackers.
it's especially important in 8v8 format to remember about these 2 different roles. In
Mm-hmm.
5v5, it's a lot trickier because you can't actually use, for example, direct counters. So that you need to think about more like take all commerce armies
Mm-hmm.
because there's one less step in the pairing process
Mm-hmm.
to avoid something.
Okay.
That's 5v5 is a lot easier for pairings than 8v8. It's
Hmm.
completely different story. So you
Okay.
usually assemble team in a different way for 5v5 than for 8v8.
Right. We don't really have the time to discuss how the pairings work and so on. But I assume that people who are interested in this and are watching this episode or will be listening to it later are probably somewhat familiar with teams. But if you aren't, for one reason or another, I strongly recommend that you search for Enter the Matrix on YouTube and Stat Check on Google. Just because there, our good friend Typhus contributes to both. So he writes articles for StatCheck and he records Enter the Matrix, which is team centered. And he wrote a fantastic article, I think after the Alpine Cup, where he goes into great detail on how to build a team, how to choose the armies, and what is the reasoning behind the choices that they made for Alpine. Then he explains how to do the pairings, how to do the matrices, and so on and so on. So all that exciting stuff for teams, you can find it over there. So yeah, I strongly recommend this. Now back to our stuff. We have 5 Tau and 5 Orcs and 5 Chaos Knights. So we'll finish with these armies, but are these again good for teams, or is it just that the Polish players have access to them and play them frequently, and that's why they are being
I
taken?
think they are not bad armies. These aren't bad armies that don't have a play. That
Hmm.
all of them have some reasoning, and the tournaments like PyraCup, there are a lot of local teams,
Hmm.
uh, and because there are a couple of teams that are, you can see that they are built in optimal way, but majority of teams are just local teams that can't probably assemble a top five armies with all players. So they
Hmm.
usually take like top three armies and plus two. So that's why
Okay.
we have like this second line of codexes.
Hmm.
But orcs or renegade knights, they are not bad armies right now.
Okay. Yeah, good. I mean, Orcs, again, I think surprised a lot of people at the WTC in the teams event because people underestimated them a bit. And Tau, probably they've seen. I mean, you as Team Poland also took Tau to the WTC, but I think the heyday, if we can call it like that, of Tau came after the balanced data slate, and we could
Yeah.
see them, a lot of them, at the LGT, quite successful. I think many players still play them and experiment with them, and yeah, it comes as no surprise that they are fairly popular at this event as well. Okay, the rest of the armies. I mean, I will post a link to the to Tourney Keeper because the lists and the tournament is in Tourney Keeper, so you will be able to click through the all the teams and all the lists yourselves. The link will be in the description of this video. Uh, However, yeah, we need to move on. So, next question: what are some of the most interesting teams? Because by that I mean, earlier I said that you are trying to set a new standard for the Polish tournament, and by new standard I also mean that we are finally inviting foreign guests to Poland to come and play.
Yes.
So tell us something about that, because not all the teams at this event are Polish.
Yeah. So we managed to invite two teams from abroad.
Hmm.
We got a German team from Berlin.
Hmm.
They can get to our venue very quickly because it's like 2 hours drive from Berlin. So it's really easy. And the team was assembled by my colleagues who won Polish team champs with me. So Arne and Valentin are there. They took 3 friends and they're coming for the tournament. And
Hmm.
this will be one of the strongest teams in this tournament.
Hmm.
And the second team is Team Belgium, that was also invited in our Nations Cup.
Hmm.
So they liked the event and wanted to come one more time. And they are here, and they're bringing their best players. Uh, so this will be also a strong competitor.
Hmm.
So we got these two teams, like international teams, and I hope that we can in the future we'll get more and more.
Hmm. Okay, can you see my screen right now?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. So this is what uh, the tournament looks like basically in terms of teams. So to anyone who is listening to us right now, I am, for example, on Spotify, I am displaying basically the tournament keeper, so you can see all the names of the teams and all the buttons that you can press to view the lists and so on. So, Majson, we have two teams from abroad, uh, but also like a plethora of teams from Poland. Let's pick, I don't know, three maybe most interesting teams in your view, and maybe let's break them down a little bit and see what their chances are to actually take the first spot at the event. Which of the 18 would you like to focus on?
So I would say that we let's start with our Polish nationality team, maybe
Hmm. So
because
by the
they
Polish
are like
national team, you mean the number 18, right?
number 18. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not
exactly.
going to read the name because it's very, very Polish and very long. But we have a team that consists of Duda, Lesiu, Pumba, Dave, and Victor. So at least four people that play for the Polish national team
I'm not sure
at the
if Victor is actually attending the tournament because maybe they will have a replacement player.
a
I will
stand-in.
like notify
Okay,
them. But
okay.
I mean, a replacement player who played this army, but they didn't want to change like name.
Hmm.
Just to they put the roster in.
Yeah,
But
that
I'm not
makes
sure.
makes sense.
I'm not sure, but because it always can be a joke.
So yeah, so
And
to be more precise, at least three Polish
yeah,
national team members, maybe more.
yeah, at least three Polish national team members.
Hmm.
One day who is aspiring for team, so
Hmm.
we're testing him. Uh, yeah,
All right, so let's see
and
what the
that's it.
team's yeah, let's see what the team is bringing. So we have Duda, I think, unsurprisingly playing a variety of Eldar, or like a selection of Eldar, if you wish. The list is quite peculiar, I would say, and I'm displaying it on the screen right now for our viewers, and I hope that you can see that. To our listeners who cannot see, I'll just read quickly what he's bringing. So obviously it's Battle Host with Autak Wayleaper, Fuegan, Vizark, Incarn, Troopmaster, Ivrain, one Wave Serpent, two Falcons, one unit of Fire Dragons, one Night Spinner, one unit of Shroud Runners, Swooping Hawks, and two troops of 10? 10 players. No, one of 10 and one of 4. Oh, and the third troop. Sorry, I didn't see that. So altogether, 3 troops, one 10-man, two 5-mans. What do you think about that list? It's a new take on Eldar?
It's something new because we
Uh-huh.
got troops, but without the boats, the original boats.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I mean, we'll see. Duda usually knows what he's doing and what he's
Absolutely.
bringing, so the
Uh-huh.
idea will be very fun to watch for me.
Mm-hmm.
How he deals with the current meta game. Uh, a different take is always interesting.
Hmm. Do you have any inkling of like what this army could be good into, or you don't want to reveal that?
This is Eldar. They're
Mm,
good against nearly
they're good into
everything. So
everything. Yeah. As long as it's not Necrons, that is probably going to give them, their money's worth. Anything else will probably succumb to it, especially that it's Duda who is piloting that.
yes,
Next up, we have Leshu. So I would say the person who coined and created the Land Raider Redeemer list that became very popular after the WTC. This time, slightly different, but the Land Raider Redeemer is still there. So we have the Firestorm Assault Force from the new Space Marines book, and we have a Captain in Gravis armor, Lamarties, Librarian in Phobos armor, Lieutenant, one Aggressor squad, one Death Company Marine squad with jump packs, one squad of 3 Eradicators, 3 Inceptor squads, one with Assault Bolters and two with Plasmas, then an Infiltration squad, a Land Raider Redeemer, as I said, and a unit of Scouts, and a Calidus Assassin. Is that a standard Space Marine list, or again, you haven't read the book, so you wouldn't know?
I mean, I wouldn't call any list a standard yet,
Mm-hmm.
because we are the standard for Space Marines will develop in time.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Does
still a new
this look
product,
like
so
does this look like any sort of experimentation, or is this like a very maybe let's call it traditional in that sense that Leshu hasn't gone for any units outside of his standard build for the WTC.
Yeah. So well, he's using units that he used before,
Hmm.
and probably this is an experiment that does it work still.
Hmm. Yeah, it's interesting because it has this Blood Angels flavor with Lamarties, but from
Mhm.
what I've seen after going through a number of the Space Marine lists, people are also experimenting with other subfactions. So with Space Wolves, for example, with Salamanders that I think got a dedicated detachment. So it's going to be very interesting to see. I think Space Wolves might have won an event somewhere in the world recently, so it's going to be very interesting. And here we have the Blood Angels flavor. So again, quite nice to see the variety at least, and that people are
Exactly.
experimenting. Next we have Pumbaa, who is playing World Eaters. And
Yes.
is this the same list that Anthony took to the LGT, or is it something else? Have you looked at that?
Mm, it's something like different, but to be honest, it's there are not that much unit picks
Yeah,
in that codex.
it's
So
difficult to get a lot of
yeah,
variety here. So we have Angren, Karn, Lord Invocatus, Lord on Juggernaut, Master of Executions, one unit of Jackals, 2 units of Corn Berserkers, 1 Rhino, 2 units of 8 bound, 2 units of Exalted 8 bound, and a unit of 2 Chaos Spawn. Um, that army is extremely interesting. And again, it came back to life after the data slate. What do you
yes.
think is this army? Sorry, what role is this army going to play? Is it
Uh,
a
it's an
defender,
army
an attacker?
that
Hmm.
will. This is the army that will surprise the opponent who underestimate that,
Hmm.
and there will be a lot of players that underestimate world leaders.
Hmm. Yeah,
Why?
probably.
Because they didn't see a play for a while,
Hmm.
and on paper this looks not that good
Hmm.
because yeah, just a couple of units and stuff. But this is a really high pressure army. They
Hmm.
can get into your DC uh, very easily,
Yep.
and they hit hard. Also including Angron, who's really good right
Hmm.
now. They can hit really hard and be into your DC really quick. And if you don't know how to screen yourself,
Hmm.
you will lose.
Yeah.
Basically,
Yeah, and it has a lot of tricks, even though at first glance you wouldn't say. But with that, um, uh, Blot dies Yahtzee or whatever it's called, Angren potentially coming back on 3 6s and so on. It could be a nasty surprise to any opponent that hasn't read the index. All right, so that's Pumbaa. Then we have Deich, who's sporting Chaos Space Marines. So again, no huge surprises there when it comes to the army composition because we have the second or third strongest army out there right now. Um, so let's look at the army composition. We have a Chaos Lord, another Chaos Lord. Uh, Maybe I should mention that there are three Chaos Lords, all undivided.
that's easier.
Yeah, that's easier. A cultist mob, then 2 Rhinos, a big unit of Chosen, another big unit of Chosen, and another big unit of Chosen. Undivided Forge Fiend, Nurgle Forge Fiend, and well, 2 Molar Fiends, Slaneshi Molar Fiends, a unit of 2 Obliterators, undivided, and then 3 units of Warp Talons, 1 10 man and 2 5 mans. Um, Again, is this build more specific for teams, or is this also something that could play well
I'm
in singles?
uh, I'm not sure what's the like reasoning behind it.
Hmm.
I haven't talked to guys yet before the tournament. Well, I'll talk to them during the tournament. But
Hmm.
what surprises me is 2 molar fins. It's
Hmm.
something new, something that was not present in the previous versions.
Hmm. Yeah, I haven't seen that either. So definitely an interesting take on this one, and it's going to be interesting to see whether it was because or due to like model availability, or is there actually like a secret tech in it.
I think it's a tech because
Mhm.
guys, if this particular team, if they lacked models, they will just find out
Yeah, probably,
the solution to
probably.
get them.
Okay, so it's going to be
So
very interesting to see how the Molar
yeah.
fiends do. And again, it's quite entertaining and quite nice to see variety in the lists and not everyone copying just one single uh, winning archetype. Last but not least, we have Victor, who might come to the event or not, but I guess if the list will remain the same, whoever plays it. And this is Leagues of Votan um, with Uthar. One champion, one Cal, then another champion, 3 units of 10 Hearthkin, um, 2 units of 10 Hearthguard, 2 units of 3 Pioneers, and then 6 Sagittars. Um, that looks like Danny's list from the LGT a little bit with the 6 Sagittars. Is this the go-to build for Votan right now?
I think it's a yeah, it's a iteration that was played before.
Hmm.
I personally I changed this for my Votan list for like more MSU approach
Hmm.
to actually include Thundercans, to include Berserkers. If that's we'll see if I'm right with my text, but more or less you start building the Votan list with at least one Cal, 10 hard guard, and 6 Sagittars, and the
Hmm.
rest, and of course something to fill in the Sagittars.
Hmm. Yeah.
So this is the standard approach, and this is already like 1,000 points and
Hmm.
something. So then you decide what to do with the previous other
Hmm.
uh, stuff.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, makes perfect sense. We've seen something similar already in action and being quite successful. So, yeah, I think, especially here when you can orchestrate the pairings a little bit and actually get them to play against what you want, this army can surprise many people as well. So it's really cool to see such an army composition. Very strong armies, very strong players. Definitely. Uh, they can aspire to win the whole thing or take the whole thing. But there are 17 other teams that they will have to chew through. So let's talk about another team, like a top team that you believe can put up a fight against the people that we have just described. Who should we bring up next?
So let's go with the Team Belgium, maybe.
Okay, great. Mhm. So we have, and I'm going to butcher the names probably, but we have Guillaume, Gilles, Liam, Vidar, and Bart. So let's go with Guillaume first. I've seen him play at the LGT. I think he made it to like the semifinals of the LGT with his
Mhm.
Eldar, and he's back piloting Eldar again. So let's see what he has in his list. We have two Autarch Wave Leapers, a Farseer, Fuegan, Spirit Seer, and the Incarn, which is I think the staple in all the Eldar lists right now. Then we have two Night Spinners, 1 unit of Swooping Hooks, uh, 3 units of Warp Spiders, and 10 Wraith Guard. It looks like an army that could well play in singles and in teams.
Yeah, it's right now it's a pretty much standard approach for elders.
Hmm.
So you got like standard set of characters, raid guard, brick, and warp spiders and night spinners,
Hmm.
and some
So, y-
other stuff.
so you kill something early with the Night Spinners, teleport the Incarn, and then Warp Spiders do the missions while the Incarn draws the attention and it is a feisty distraction card effects basically. I think that's the playstyle
Yes.
of the list. Yeah. All right. Okay. So pretty standard. No surprises there, but in the hands of a very skilled player. So again, nothing to scoff at, and people have to be very careful about Guillaume. Let's look at. I hope I'm pronouncing this right. Gilles, who's bringing Astra Militarum. So first time Astra Militarum in our let's say list analysis or teams analysis. So combined regiment, no surprises there. No other choice available. Count Ghost with I think all the possible choices. Lord Solar, so no surprise there. Tank Commander and Ursula Creed for the characters, and then we go into one infantry squad, uh, two basilisks, 2 units of Bullgrin, two Hellhounds, one Lehman Rust
Yes.
Demolisher, three Manticores, and two Scout Sentinels. What do you think about Guard in a Teams event? Do they come to
I
do
think
to play a specific mission, or is it, I don't know, a safe choice or a desperate choice?
it's something like a safe choice right
Hmm.
now. This is for WTC terrains going and with no line of sight shooting, especially with the guard,
Hmm.
is always beneficial because you just don't care about the table usually.
Hmm.
And here, this take is after the nerfs to carriages in data slide.
Hmm.
We have the codex, like non-forge world, no indirect shooting, so manticores
Hmm.
and basilisks. They are
Yep.
still really good. Basilisks slow the opponent and stuff. We do have some mission stuff to do. So
Hmm.
Skull Sentinels, Hellhounds, even Bullgrims are really like tough to remove from the table. So they're
And
also for their points they're really good.
Gaunt's Ghost, that I think, if I remember
Yeah.
correctly, after the interview with Skark that we did after the WTC, they can infiltrate as well. So
Yes.
you have a tool to take the table early, but also a tool to push your opponent's infiltration back a little bit. So yeah,
Yes.
nice piece of tech here. All right.
One thing that I'm not sure about using Ursula right now, but
Mm-hmm.
after the nerf. But in the end, this is a really like optimized list, I think,
Mm-hmm.
for the current metagame.
Yeah. Yeah. Very nice. Okay. Fine. Moving on. We have Liam. Still sporting Chaos Space Marines, but I guess I can already reveal, but I'm going to show that on the screen in a moment anyway. A little bit of new tech with the Chaos Space Marines that Team Ignite is sporting right now. So we have again 3 Chaos Lords, all undivided, a cultist mob. Then we have 3 Rhinos, all Nurgle. 3 units of Chosen, all
Mhm.
undivided, and then 2 Forge Fiends, one undivided, one Nurgle. 2 units of Obliterators, uh, undivided Nurgle, 1 unit of Warp Talons, and now here comes the new tech, which is 2 units of Rubric Marines. And that is followed, and the list is closed by Blue Scribes. So some allies from the Chaos Demon Index. What's the idea with the Rubric Marines? Why are they
I'm
here?
not
Why
sure.
haven't they been there earlier?
I'm not sure yet.
Okay.
I'm yet to see that on the table, and I just need
Hmm.
to discuss this idea with Liam, to be honest.
Okay. Yeah, because I've seen this used somewhere already. But again, I don't know what the tech does. And I think Pumba mentioned to me as well that the new archetype is bring 2 or 3 units of Rubric Marines, but I forgot to ask what for. So maybe a scoring unit, but I think there must be something more about them. So we shall see.
Yeah,
Do observe and let me
let's just
know.
keep this before the tournament, and after the tournament
Yeah,
we can discuss and have some like uh,
conclusions.
insights
Yeah.
from conclusions how this idea works.
Awesome. All right. So let's see how it pans out and if that is the right choice or not. Then we have Vidar, um, who is playing Leagues of Votan again. So another Leagues of Votan in what we deem a top team. So we have 2 Einher champions, um, then a cow, 2 units of Hearthkin warriors, 6 Sagittars again, uh, 1 unit of no, sorry, 3 units of Berserks, uh, 2 units of Hearthguard, and 2 units of Pioneers, and that's it. So this is
So
what
basically,
you've mentioned, right?
yeah, this is my list, but I dropped champions for Thundercats. Basically,
Mm-hmm. All right.
that's
Okay.
that was my pick. Uh,
Yeah,
well,
looking solid. Looking very solid.
it's looking solid. I'm really interested how he uses berserks and how it will work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. So again, something to come back to after the event. Absolutely. All right, and last but not least, Bart Vastiles sporting Necrons. So
Yep.
first Necron list, I think, from the top teams, and we have one Catacomb Command Barge, two Chronomancers, one Hexmark Destroyer, another Hexmark Destroyer, Illuminor Sheraz, and two Necron Lords. So a ton of points in the characters, but that's a common sight in Necrons as well. And then two units of 20 Warriors, a Ghost Arc, one Reanimator, two Crypto Thralls, two units of Ophidian Destroyers, and 10 Triarch Praetorians. Um, what do you think about this list?
So it's really nice to see that there are no Ktans
Mm-hmm.
anymore. So I would be happy when I play that because I
Mm-hmm.
hate Ktans.
Yeah, and
But yeah, this is
there's a good reason for that. Mm-hmm.
yeah. So 2 times 20 warriors basically.
Mm-hmm. How about the
There's
Praetorian? Like,
there are really good units. Units to
mm,
be honest. They are just I just need to look at the data sheet.
is that
Um,
the sort of like a jump pack unit for Necrons?
yeah, it was something like that.
Mm-hmm. So probably way faster than foot slugging Lich or Warriors. So I can see how they
Yeah,
could have potential.
they move
Sweet.
inches. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, they got devastating wounds pistol.
Mm-hmm.
So they can do some damage in shooting phase, and they fight well. So basically, they're really like they can do a lot of stuff on the table. They got deep strike, they got reroll charge rolls,
Mm-hmm.
and they can charge after falling back.
Sweet.
So this is the unit that can actually do a lot of stuff on the table.
Yeah, yeah, that's fantastic. Again, the Necron book is just full of useful stuff. I'm happy to see that Necron players can actually
Yeah,
pick and choose.
I think Gito is already playing Praetorians. I'm not sure
Hmm.
if he also used, if I remember correctly, he used
Yeah,
two times 10.
we can have a
But
quick look at his list. Does he have Praetorians? Yes, he does.
yeah,
He does.
yes,
Hmm.
but only one. Yeah, but he has monolith. Yeah, so that's fun list.
Yeah, you can tell just by looking at it that it's more for fun than anything else. But he will. I'm sure that he will still bring back good scores with this list because he's
Of
just
course he will.
Necron God.
I'm just joking because he loves his monolith and
Looks for an opportunity to bring it always. Yeah, that's fantastic. And he has a Catan. He has Orican. Uh, anything else outstanding? Just one unit of warriors. Uh, Canoptek Acanthrites. I'm not even going to pretend I know what that is, although I did listen to his masterclass. I just don't remember what they do. Ophidian Destroyers,
they are
Ophidian Destroyers.
infiltrators or something like that.
Hmm.
They're,
All right.
if I remember correctly, because
So
I
again,
have
a
no
practical
not clue.
choice. Yeah, yeah. I don't remember either, but maybe someone from our viewers can tell us or comment about it. So that would be much appreciated. So we are essentially done with Team Belgium. Uh, and maybe let's take one more team, and then I think we can wrap it up. So who else would you want to look at?
So let's go with our German friends, I guess.
All right. So we have number 8, Reisegruppe. Let's look at Arne first. So Arne is bringing Eldari, uh, the usual stuff: Wayleaper, Fuegan, Spirit Seer, Incarn. Then we have 3 Night Spinners, so a
Yeah.
power build over there. 2 units of Swooping Hawks, 1 unit of Warp Spiders, 5 Wraith Blades, and 10
Yes.
Wraith Guard. So the non-standard bit of this list probably would be the five Wraith Blades. Any idea what for?
It's a Duda's idea
Mm,
from
okay.
from Polish Team Champs
Mm-hmm.
when he used Raid Blades. And Arne was with me and Duda on one team, so we discussed this
Mm-hmm.
a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Basically, this is one more tough block that can push on the table.
Okay.
They can do some damage in melee.
All right. Sweet. Again, a little bit of variety from a list that overall I think is a very common sight on the tables,
Yeah,
both in teams
yeah,
and solo events. Mm,
and there are 3 times Night Spinners. So
yeah, they're there to deal the pain. Absolutely. And also allow Incarn to just do whatever he wants, pretty much, or she, uh, they. All right, so that's Arne. Then we move to Caillou, who's bringing Tyranids, Invasion Fleet. And we have a Hive Tyrant. Then we have a unit of 10 Termagants. Very interesting to just see one character in the Tyranids list. So a single Hive Tyrant without wings, 10 Termagants, one unit of Biovores, two Neurolictors, one, two Pyrovores, two units of Raveners, a big unit of Zoanthropes, a small unit of Zoanthropes, and then just a plethora of monsters. So we have three Exocrines, two Haruspexes, one Maleceptor, and a Tyrannocyte. So what do you think about this list? Standard,
Uh,
non-standard?
I I think he also played this because he was also on Polish Team Champs
Mm-hmm.
with different teams,
Mm-hmm.
different team, not our team, but other German team that arrived, and this is a variation of the list he used there. So this is not a new invention.
Mm-hmm.
This is something that's yeah,
All right.
that
Any idea?
that Caillou plays. So
Okay. Any idea what the Tyrannocyte or Tyrannocyte is for?
not yet.
All right. I think if I'm not mistaken, you could put a Hive Tyrant in it, because he has the right amount of wounds, if I'm not mistaken. And if yes, then you might want to drop him to spread his everything around him within 12 inches the assault keyword. So suddenly the Exocrines and the Maleceptor can basically run and shoot, which gives them like a lot of mobility for Tyrannid monsters, but it could be something else. It could be the Zoanthropes as well. Although, yeah, I mean, for a precision strike with some Zoanthropes, that would probably also make sense. So,
Yeah, I checked. I just checked the Tyrannosaurus. Hive Tyrant can fit there.
yeah.
So
So I thought so probably that would be one of my guesses that it's a possibility. So you can get him exactly where you want, and then all the monsters can just get close and benefit from his ability. But as I said, it could be a surgical strike with the big unit of Zoanthropes as well, to just eliminate like a tough target, because they are pretty much the only proper anti-tank unit in the army. The rest, with strength 10 or lower, um, isn't very good at killing vehicles. So, yeah. Cool list. Very, very interesting. Moving on, we have Valentin, who I think was also on your team during
yes.
the Polish team championship. So another strong player, another strong name. Astra Militarum again. And we have Guns Ghosts, Solar, Platoon Command Squad, Ursula again, and then one unit of Katachan Jungle Fighters, one Infantry Squad, one Chimera, one Basilisk, two units of Bullgrins, two Hellhounds, a Lehman Russ Executioner, three Manticores, two Scout Sentinels, and an allied unit of a single Calidus Assassin. Um, Pretty standard list again, don't you think?
Yeah. There's a one twist here.
Hmm.
One Bulgarian squad is a 6-man squad, not 3-man squad.
Okay, yeah. So a bigger bully unit, so to say.
Yeah.
Hmm. All right, very interesting. And again, in the hands of a skilled player, this is probably going to do some damage. So very
I'm
interesting to see.
really looking forward to see guard on the table at this tournament.
Hmm. Yeah.
I really hope
Okay.
that the guard will just fare well. Um, I will play good. Uh, yeah,
Yeah, I agree.
maybe that's why that's because I was born as a guardsman. So
Okay. All right. So yeah. So
um,
so some affiliation and some strong feelings toward guard. I understand. All right. Moving on. We have Malte from I think Breaking Heads podcast and Team Germany as well. So let's see what he's bringing. He's bringing CSM, so Chaos Space Marines, Abaddon, three Chaos Lords, Cultist Mob, Chaos Rhino, three units of Chosen, Forge Fiend, one Undivided, one Nurgle, two units of Obliterators, again Undivided and Nurgle. That seems to be a staple as well. And then three units of War Talents. No surprises there, apart maybe from Abaddon.
Abaddon is
Yeah.
yeah,
But is he a
something new.
surprise, or is he actually, quite common in the list as well?
In this kind of list, I think it's a surprise.
Yeah, because he's not. going to be attached to anything specifically. I don't think he can be. Uh,
Yes.
yeah, so he's just going to be there as a s- slowly foot slogging force multiplier, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Good. And last but not least, we have Max. Max, who's bringing Space Wolves, and the list starts with one of my favorite units in the Space Wolf well, index. So a Cyber Wolf for missions and so on, a cheap 20-point single model unit that can do missions, and that's it.
Perfect. Perfect
Yeah,
thing for a 10th edition. Just
absolutely. And then we have
amazing data sheet. Maybe I will write my Monday episode about
I
Cyberwolf.
think you should. I think you should. It was already amazing in ninth edition, and it used to cost 15 points. Now it's 20, but it's still worth every single point. So yeah, that's a bit of scoring right there. And then we have a librarian in Phobos armor, lieutenant with combi weapon, Ulrich the Slayer, Wolfguard battle leader on Thunderwolf, another Wolfguard battle leader on Thunderwolf, and the third one, then we have a Wolf Lord on Thunderwolf. So again, a huge assortment of characters, and that probably gives up a ton of points for Assassinate, unless they are not going to die, which I, you know, cross my fingers for. And then we have a unit of Blood Claws, a Rhino, Fenrisian Wolves twice, Hounds of Morkai, or sorry, 10 of them, uh, two Inceptor squads, one with Plasma, one with Bolters, a Scout squad, and three 6-man units of Thunderwolf cavalry. Uh, is that a common
Amazing.
sight?
That that's amazing list.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely, it plays to I don't know, the joy of Space Wolf players, because I can't remember the last time that I've seen 18 cavalry models plus all the Thunderwolf characters as well. So this is a very thematic army. But do you think it can actually bring the damage and win some games?
Uh, I'm not sure. I just need to check data sheet for cavalry. To be honest.
I think it's the storm. Yep, I mean, I don't think I see it on the screen that it says Stormlands Task Force. If I remember correctly, this is the one that benefits cavalry units, and there's a lot of like advancing and charging and so on. So this will probably be extremely fast and will pack a punch. So to an unsuspecting player, this could be a very painful and very quick game if they allow
The,
Space Wolves to spread.
the problem with that kind of list is like if somebody puts a screen before,
Mm.
you're basically stuck. And Thunderwolf cavalry is on 60 millimeter space. Basically,
Yes, to dreadnought bases. Hmm.
so they take a lot of place. If you hide them, then you lose inches of movement. If you just put them in the front, there is a problem that they can be shot.
Yeah.
So I'm a little bit worried about this list. If it be good for the tournament,
Hmm.
but I would love to see how when it wins. So
Yeah, especially if it's like well painted and so on, then it's a sight to behold. I'm
yeah,
sure.
just come
And I Yeah, go on.
18 cavalry models, more than 18
Hmm.
because of the leaders, but
Wet dream of Furas, I guess.
yeah.
To see that. Um,
And unfortunately, Furas is not attending the event. I
yeah, but
think
maybe at least someone can take a picture for him.
I will. I will.
Yeah, so that he can hang it on his ceiling over his bed or something. All right, so that was Team Germany. As I said, there are now 15 other teams. Some of the Polish national team players hidden in those teams as well. Like we have Skark in the team called V, together with Danny Erley from Belarus, I think, Chris and Komokos. Also an interesting team, especially Danny on his Leagues of Votan. Let's see what Skark is bringing. I did read that before, but oh, he's on Space Wolves as well. That is interesting.
Yep.
Tech Marines. Oh, but this is the Iron Storm Spearhead, so a lot of like Redemptors probably and other dreadnoughts. Ballistus, Redemptor, Repulsor, Scout, and 3 Whirlwinds. Jesus Christ! I've played against this list in one of the TTS leagues with my Death Guard. I had nothing to say. Like, this erased me from the table. I think after 2 or maybe 3 turns. But
Looks like Scarp's list, so
very
exit.
mathematical. Yes, just sheer shooting power and damage. So stuff that he enjoys. And the 3 Whirlwinds are just a nightmare to deal with. Not to mention everything else. All right, very interesting. So that's the tournament basically. Let me come back to my control panel so I can stop sharing the screen. All right, okay. And now, Majson, I think it is also worth saying that the tournament wouldn't be possible without the support of your sponsors, right? Would you like to say a couple of words about them, perhaps?
Yeah, so big thanks to our main sponsors for the event. And what I would like to mention, first of all, Green Stuff World. Uh, so probably everyone knows them.
Hmm.
They deliver a lot of stuff for hobby stuff for players, painters, and so on. There's Save and Sound supports us
Hmm.
as they did last year and the year before. We got GD Printing. This is
Hmm.
a brand made by our colleague from Poznan about printing staff miniatures, and we got our also Red Bull as a sponsor, so everyone will
Hmm.
get a Red Bull drink if they want to, of course, during the event.
That's
And
helpful.
our main sponsor, which is not yet announced officially, is Stagraph. It's a shop that sells miniatures, and they also support us since a couple of years. So, five main sponsors here, and of course, our my hometown and venue is also sponsoring us and supporting us as well. So big
That's
thanks to all
fantastic.
of them.
Yeah, great
And
support. Great, absolutely great support. Great to have. I'm posting the link to PyraCup's Facebook page for 2 reasons. First of all, because you can visit it, you can read about the tournament, read about the format, probably see some pictures if they are posted. But yeah, you can also see the sponsors and all the sponsor announcements over there with links to websites and so on. But there is a second reason why I'm posting this, and this is a competition that we did mention in our preview on our Facebook, but I think we can talk about it a little bit more now. The competition is fairly simple, and there are only 2 conditions that you need to fulfill to actually be able to participate in it. So the first condition is, and this is also the task that we are expecting you to complete, we want you to, well, have a look at Tourney Keeper, look at the 18 teams, go through the list, blah, 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 and we want you to name the top 3 teams that are going, well, the teams that are going to top in the top 3, uh Jesus, that are going to place in the top 3 at the event. And that's condition number 1. Condition number 2, go to PyraCaup's profile on Facebook and follow it and like it. And then if you manage to do those 2 things, so like PyraCaup and then give us the correct podium of the event, we will distribute some, I think, 10 per person if we have more than one winner. 10 contact loss dice shipped directly to you for your playing pleasure. So if you're interested in that merch, please follow the guidelines. And yeah, you will have a chance to win some nice
and
dice.
there will be a dedicated post for a competition and for half an hour after the podcast on our
Hmm.
PyraCup page.
Yep.
And I would like also to mention here that our brand will be evolving really soon because we took all of our local tournaments also under our supervision.
Hmm.
So you can under our page you can find updates about our local community in Poznan. You can find updates about our international events, our recaps from the previous events. and
Hmm.
if all of the information needed to attend our future events. Uh, just one thing that also is coming under PyraCup that's maybe is surprising for some of you, that we are also joining force with our local Age of Sigmar community, and we are starting doing masterclass tournaments in Age of Sigmar as well, hoping for potential future like convention with mixed events, 40k plus Age of Sigmar, so we actually can get a bigger venue and just invite much more players
That's
there.
amazing. That's amazing to see that the organization is growing, that you're attracting more people, more systems, and so on. That's really encouraging. And again, it's a welcome sight on the Polish scene, and new standard, as I said. Also, one plug for me that is going to segue us to the very last segment of the episode. We have a Patreon page, so if you do like what we do here, what we deliver here, we try to deliver on a regular basis. We do deliver on our Facebook as well, where we have those themed days. So Majson Monday, Tournament Tuesday, I can't remember Wednesday. I don't think we have anything for Wednesday. Then we have the Thoughtful Thursday where I post some stuff as well, and I think there is something Paint or Die done by Vitalis. So his like painting creations and so on. So if you like all this, then do consider going to our patron page, because our patrons, depending on the tier that you choose, get multiple various benefits, ranging from early access to master classes, the possibility to ask questions for the show, uh, and many other things, including our merch, so t-shirts, mats, and dice. But I wanted to speak about the questions because we do actually have a few questions from our listeners. Mason, if I can steal 5 more minutes from you, then we have five questions from our patrons. So the first one will be, uh, is it better to make fewer places and have 100% of places taken on the tournament? Or should an organizer try to accommodate as many players as possible?
Oh, that's a kind of hard question, because
Mm-hmm.
there's one answer to that. It
Mm-hmm.
depends,
Mm.
as
All right.
always. It depends
Okay.
what we are going to do, because from my experience, I'm since a couple of years I'm a TO in Poland, and I really love organizing events.
Mm-hmm.
It depends on what you want to achieve, because you can like do a high standard event for like 40 people when you deliver the best possible experience,
Mm-hmm.
and then you just limit yourself to like 40 people, like we did in PyraCup Nations tournament, just for national teams, 48 people, no more, no less. Uh, then you always know that you can, then the ticket price is also always a little bit higher than the normal event, but you
Mm-hmm.
can deliver a high standard. On the other hand, if you are doing an event that's more than 100 people there,
Mm-hmm.
you can't usually deliver the best experience there, because you can't. You just need to take into consideration that above 100 people in one place, you need to do things differently
Mm-hmm.
from logistical point of view.
Yeah, the
So it
effect of
always,
scale comes into
yeah,
play.
the scale effect is
A
taking
serious
place,
thing.
and it's really hard to
Mm-hmm.
deal with some stuff like
Right.
that.
Okay.
So personally, I would like to do both kinds of events. So we'll continue like we did this year, um, two times. Main event here where we fit as many people as we can get,
Mm-hmm.
uh, and the event that was like more dedicated for national teams. Uh, Next year we'll continue with both kind of events. Yeah,
Okay.
that's my approach basically.
Mm-hmm. All right. So that was a question from Nibla. I know that Nibla is in the chat already, or was. I don't know if he's still around, but he has a second question as well. And this is, Where to start organizing a tournament? Terrain based, local players. What should be a focus for a new guy? And by new guy, I mean probably a new tournament organizer.
I think the most important thing is to have some people in local community, because you usually start. I started doing my events organization from local tournaments,
Hmm.
where we attracted people from local community and over just checked what they really want to and what they expect from TO.
Hmm.
So my recommendation is to always start from the local community and to check to get to know people. Then, if you go on a bigger scale and do like national tournament or just regional tournament, then
Hmm.
you at least know that you will have players from local community because they know you. So you got like minimum base of players filled in for a position, because what
Hmm.
you don't want to do is to organize an event. Imagine that you will have 200, 200 place for players,
Hmm.
and then suddenly you got 10, 10 tickets bought, and
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah.
So my recommendation is always to always start with local community, work with local community, and try to just promote them, because this just pays off.
Hmm. Okay. All right. Next three questions will be from Sam Lemon, so a good friend of the podcast, who also is involved with Down Under 40K. So do check that out because it's an amazing podcast as well. And Sam is putting like a lot of effort to present the Down Under 40K scene to the world. He invites members of the national team from of Australia, people from New Zealand, many local players over there. He speaks about the local events. So please make sure that you go and visit that too because it's quality content that is not getting enough spotlight. So please, please, please do support our friends. And Sam has the following questions. First one: how are five-man teams events evaluated in Poland? Is it generally seen to take the best five armies, or are you advised to take what you generally specialize in for testing and exploration purposes? So, an example, it would be easy to take CSM or Eldar right now, but would you stay away from them to explore new combos and options?
Okay, another question that I have just one answer. It
Hmm.
depends. Because we as Polish national team, we took. It depends how do you take the event. As Polish national team, we often decide: are we going there for winning or for testing?
Hmm.
And if we go for win, just pick top five armies. And for 5v5, usually top five armies is the best pick.
Hmm.
Uh, at least it's a safe pick, uh, because there are not like many ways to in a pairing process to avoid pairings, to because it's not 8v8, it's 5v5. Top five, taking top five arms is a safe bet.
Hmm.
Also, you need to take care that within this top five armies, there might be some. You need to prepare yourself for playing mirror matchups more
Hmm.
often, because they will just occur more often than 8v8.
Yeah.
So potentially siding into mirrors is okay.
Hmm.
Yeah. On the other hand, if we want to test something, it's at least my approach is like take top three armies and plus two.
Hmm.
Why? Because you need this top armies to actually compete in the event, and there's no much value from testing like on new solutions on the like bottom tables, like with like weaker teams, because you'll not get the exact feedback how these two like tested armies for how they perform in.
All right. Okay. Next question. Uh, with other, and that's an interesting question for me as well because I'm a language teacher and an interpreter. So that's actually very interesting because it's about language and the language barrier. With other international teams attending, what's the language barrier like for some, or is English good enough between everyone and it won't be an issue?
I haven't encountered any language barrier issues recently, to be honest.
Hmm. Yeah, I think
Uh,
the Polish community is well versed in English as well as some other languages, and there is no such thing as language barrier for the majority, for like
there
95%
might be some issues, but it's like individual case, and if there's an individual case, we can sort it out with one judge or two judges.
of. Hmm.
Basically, if any of such a situation occur, we'll deal with that, but it's highly unlikely.
I agree. Okay, so we got that out of the way. And last question is, my son, it's specifically to you. Uh, as you are the Polish Jesus, who are your chosen 12 disciples who must follow you as you spread the holy word of 40K across the globe?
What? One
One more time.
one more time, please.
So you are the Polish Jesus. As we know, Jesus had his 12 apostles or his 12 students. So I guess the question is, who are your 12 students that follow you everywhere?
Oh, that's.
That's a difficult question.
I'll ask for some time, actually.
Yeah.
Maybe let's save this for a dedicated podcast.
Yeah, we will have a dedicated episode for that. So Sam,
Yeah,
you need to be
for
patient.
that that's too good question to answer it to wait it for.
Yeah. To be
Right now.
perfectly honest, that the Messiah just does his stuff and he's still getting used to all his titles that I have built for him and broken to him or told him that he has them because he didn't know before. So he's still getting used to being called the Polish Jesus. Once he gets familiar with it, he will also tell you the list of his disciples. So just you wait, watch this space, and it will come. Maybe in the next episode, we shall see. Good. All right. So that is it when it comes to like viewer questions. I don't see any other. Majson, any last words or anything else that you would like to plug either for PyraCup or anything else?
One final things here. I invite everyone to watch our channels. We'll do some live material from tournament from PyraCup on our page, and also as a contact list member, I will do some live footage from tournament. Stay with us. Stay tuned for future info. If you have any questions about how we are doing the tournaments and how to, for example, attend our tournaments, feel free to directly just contact me, Facebook, Discord, through PyraCup channel. Uh, you're just feel free to contact me directly. I will
Mhm.
help you if you are interested. And all of you are invited, of course, to our events.
Great. Yeah. Also, make sure that if you for some reason cannot reach my son through all the pages that we will be advertising in the description of this video and on Facebook and Discord and so on, you can also contact us at Contact Lost, and we will relay the message to my son. No problem with this. So yeah, there are multiple ways that you can reach him. And the final word from me, as usual. If you want to help us grow, if you want to help increase our ranges, if you like what we do, then please like, subscribe, and follow us on different social media, on YouTube, on Facebook, because now we are making the best out of our Facebook, I think, with those regular posts that I mentioned earlier. So a lot of content is coming over there as well, not only to our YouTube and Spotify and so on. Um, and if you want to support the what we do, then we have our Patreon with different tiers that you can also benefit from. Uh, if nothing else, I mean, the early access to, for example, the master classes, like faction specific master classes that we do with our guests, these are available to all our patrons, no matter how much they contribute. And you can also get access to our Discord, where we simply exchange thoughts, and we are trying to build a small community over there. Uh, it's growing slowly. There are discussions ongoing about factions and events that are happening in the world. So it would be nice to have another member to contribute to that. So yeah, do consider it's a nice place. And again, like Majson said, everyone is welcome. Uh, with that said, I think we can conclude the episode. So Majson, it's been a great pleasure to have you as always. Your insights are as always invaluable. And to our listeners, I guess until next time. Thank you for joining us, and bye bye.
See you.